10 creepy hidden details in Peppa Pig everyone missed. 1. Pig Eat Pig World. Hear me out. Let's point to those recurring scenes of barbecues and meat eating and say, hold up, if everyone's a talking animal, could they be feasting on members of their own species? Now, technically speaking, the show never says that Peppa, George, and the rest are vegetarians. In fact, there are hints they chow down on meat, which has led to the cheeky suggestion that maybe, just maybe, they're snacking on, well, one of their own. Think about it. If you're an anthropomorphic pig and you're grilling a pork chop, it might not be a pig at all. It could be from a non-talking pig. That raises a whole lot of eyebrow-raising questions about who's eating who. But before you start picturing a Peppa Pig family dinner turning into a horror flick, consider that many cultures eat meat from animals that are closely related to them, like primates. So maybe it's not full-blown cannibalism in the classic sense, maybe it's just weird cartoon logic that plays with our ideas about what's normal in a world where animals talk, dress up, and apparently grill. Either way, it's creepy, and did they think we wouldn't notice? It's a darkly funny theory that really flips the script on the cheerful world of Peppa Pig. 2. Why Miss Rabbit does all the jobs. Why does Miss Rabbit do all the jobs? In Peppa's town, they wake up one day in a town where one rabbit is literally everywhere, driving the bus, painting faces at the fair, even flying a helicopter. In the Peppa Pig universe, Miss Rabbit fills so many roles, fans can't help but wonder if she's some kind of super rabbit clone or just the poster child for jack of all trades, master of all. Take Miss Rabbit's day off as prime evidence. When she breaks her ankle, the whole town scrambles like it's the last day of school, trying to cover every single one of her duties. Is it really one incredibly versatile rabbit doing all this heavy lifting? Or is there a secret clone army of Miss Rabbits hidden behind every corner? Some say it's a cheeky nod to an ultra-efficient, maybe even cult-like bureaucracy where one character is everywhere at once. She is basically an omnipresent guardian of the town's daily operations. 3. Some animals are still animals. In the middle of all of this, why are some animals still animals in the Peppa Pig universe? It's a weird divide. Most mammals, like pigs, rabbits, and kangaroos, are practically human. They live in houses, wear snazzy clothes, and even debate about the best muddy puddle to jump in. But then you've got ducks, Tiddles the tortoise, and Polly the parrot, who stick to their natural animal ways. They quack, crawl, and chirp like they're auditioning for a wildlife documentary. One theory is that the creators deliberately chose to civilize only the mammals, elevating them to a higher, more relatable status for us humans. Meanwhile, birds, fish, and reptiles are left as pure, unfiltered animals, kind of like the comic relief in a sitcom. At the same time, it's creepy and unsettling, almost as though the main characters are anthropomorphic to dominate the rest of the animal kingdom. It's almost as if the non-mammals are the working class, the pets, the livestock, or the extras in the Peppa Pig drama. A blogger from the Houston Press even joked that non-mammals are essentially relegated to the roles of servants or food. That is such a dark, creepy joke. 4. How does Mummy Pig wear a bikini? How does Mummy Pig manage to rock a bikini when you know real pigs would normally be rocking a whole different anatomy? In our everyday world, pigs come with a built-in set of extra teats, up to 14, in fact, but Mummy Pig is casually flaunting a bikini with just 2. Real pigs are with a slew of teats that have absolutely no place in a bikini-clad figure. Yet here, Mummy Pig appears, almost as if she's hiding a secret human-like body beneath her piggish facade. It's as if the creators decided to bend the rules of nature, offering us a glimpse of something that's not entirely natural or even normal. One can't help but shudder at the thought that this oversight might be more than just a simple cartoon simplification. Instead, it could hint at a darker, almost eerie transformation, where Mummy Pig isn't really what she seems. In Peppa's world, where reality is warped by whimsy, this little detail is a creepy reminder that not everything is as innocent as it appears. 5. Why are all the animals the same size? Why are all the animals in Peppa Pig pretty much the same size? It's one of those details that has us all scratching our heads with an unsettling feeling in our bellies. In our real world, an elephant is a lot bigger than a rabbit, a kangaroo, or a tiny hamster. But in Peppa's universe, characters like Emily Elephant, Rebecca Rabbit, Kylie Kangaroo, and even Dr. Hamster all seem to fit into a one-size-fits-all mold. A fan theory states that maybe Peppa Pig exists in a post-apocalyptic world where a little bit of radiation has uniformly mutated every creature to be roughly the same size. What is with the inherent inconsistency in character scaling? Hear me out. We have an elephant, a rabbit, a kangaroo, and even a tiny hamster, all sharing the same proportions, like they were stamped out of the same mold. It's as if nature itself has been hacked, leaving behind a world where every creature is disturbingly equal. 6. Why do Peppa and George only have one set of grandparents? Why do Peppa and George only have one set of grandparents? It's an omission that's gotten plenty of fan theories popping. In the Peppa Pig universe, only Mummy Pig's parents, Granny and Grandpa Pig, make regular appearances, while Daddy Pig's parents are conspicuously absent. Throughout the series, Daddy Pig's side of the family remains a complete mystery. For instance, in episodes like Grandpa Pig's car and Grandpa Pig's boat, we get to know Granny Pig and Grandpa Pig pretty well. They're featured prominently during family outings and holiday gatherings. Every time there's a family reunion or even a casual chat about grandparents, it's always Mummy Pig's folks on the scene. Meanwhile, Daddy Pig is never seen talking about his own parents. In any episode where family background is touched upon, whether it's a birthday celebration or an informal get-together, there's not a single nod or even a passing mention of his parents. This isn't just a one-off coincidence, it's a recurring omission that suggests the creators intentionally left Daddy Pig's lineage off-screen. Perhaps Daddy Pig's parents were erased from memory due to some unspeakable family scandal or a dark secret that Mummy Pig's refined family couldn't stand. Whether it's a deliberate move to keep the family tree simple for preschoolers or a cheeky nod to a more twisted backstory, the absence of Daddy Pig's parents adds a layer of eerie mystery. It's as if Peppa's world quietly whispers, "There's more to this family than meets the eye, but we're not telling you." 7. Why are Peppa and George in the same class at school? Why are Peppa and George stuck in the same class when there's a nearly 3-year age gap? It's one of those head-scratchers that makes you wonder if the Peppa Pig universe has its own version of time, where age is just what, a mere suggestion? Peppa, at 4, and little George, only 18 months old, share the same classroom and curriculum led by the ever-patient Madame Gazelle. And there's something a bit unsettling about that, the way Madame Gazelle, her smile just a bit too fixed, calmly guiding a group of kids who never seem to grow up, as if they're trapped in an eternal, slightly off-kilter lesson. Now, how long is Peppa going to stay in the playgroup for, too? Is time a recognized concept in Peppa Pig? Same way, Peppa has been 4 years old for the past 20 years. It's almost as if the classroom itself is a portal, keeping the children suspended in a timeless state. Sure, it might be a practical decision to keep things simple for preschoolers, but when you really look at it, the idea of a never-ending, frozen-in-time classroom sends shivers down your spine. 8. The Peppa Pig Town cult. One of the creepiest fan theories making the rounds is that the entire Peppa Pig Town is actually run by a secret cult. Think about it. Every adult in the show is only ever called Mummy Daddy or Mr. Mrs. Miss, followed by their animal type with no proper names. Fans argue that once the kids hit adulthood, they shed their names as a part of some bizarre cult ritual, symbolizing the loss of individual identity in favor of group devotion. But it gets even darker and weirder. Look at the town's layout. Every building, Peppa's house, the school, even the local shops, is perched on a steep hill and spaced ridiculously far apart. Sure, it might seem like a cute, childlike drawing style at first glance. However, some theorists say this isn't just artistic whimsy. They believe these cult members purposely chose isolation to keep away from the outside world, creating a secretive sanctuary where they can worship their mysterious, possibly multifaceted deities in peace. Isn't that something? 9. Everyone lives on a hill. Why does everyone in Peppa's world live on a hill? At first glance, it looks like a simple case of a kid drawing a house, right? One house on a hill, another here, another there, just like doodles in a notebook. But get in a little deeper, and you might suspect there's more to those slopes than meets the eye. One theory is that the hills are a deliberate design choice to mimic a child's drawing style. Kids tend to space out their houses, making each one its own little island of fun. But here's where it gets wild. Some fans believe that these elevated homes are actually a built-in flood defense. Remember the biggest muddy puddle in the world? In that episode, Peppa's hill nearly turned into a deserted island. Imagine living in a town where every day is a potential water park adventure, though not exactly by choice. It's almost as if the creators are winking at us, hinting that even in a cheery cartoon world, there's a dash of danger lurking beneath the surface. After all, who wouldn't want their house to come with a built-in floodlight? 10. The misogynist message. Miss Rabbit is one of the most fascinating and controversial characters in Peppa Town. On the surface, she seems like a superwoman. One minute she's a bus driver, the next she's a face painter, and if she ever takes a day off, the whole town grinds to a halt. But dig a little deeper, and some fans argue that her non-stop work schedule sends a darker, more misogynistic message. Hear me out. Unlike her sister, Mummy Rabbit, Miss Rabbit is never married and doesn't have any kids. Instead of being celebrated as a symbol of female independence and empowerment, one interpretation suggests that her constant busyness is actually a subtle scolding for women who dare to pursue careers over motherhood. Critics point to mainstream articles that have slammed Peppa Pig for sexism, lending a bit of weight to the theory that the show implies a hard-working woman simply can't have it all. In other words, by showing that the entire community relies on Miss Rabbit to keep everything running smoothly, the show might be inadvertently, or perhaps intentionally, saying, if you want to work, you're not going to be a mom.